Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back for more Malifaux, and this time the Datsue Ba. Moldy Skin 09149. So, Datsue Ba is a creature that could be considered one of many judges of death, crossing cultures ranging from Anubis for the Egyptians to St. Peter for the Christians. And Datsue Ba is known for skinning her victims as penance for any sins they may have committed. And since being summoned to Malifaux, she skins indiscriminately, with the guilty having their souls taken to fuel her lantern and the innocent left as wandering spirits. Again, Malifaux has a strong horror theme, and this particular model is kind of fragile. Just a lot of thin pieces, and it's one of the more annoying ones to assemble. I'll have to double check, but I don't think she has any living or undead keywords, just her recruiting keyword, Urami. So again, another one of Kirai's minions. And she was also one of the first spirits that Kirai summoned, first emerging during the first night when her powers manifested. And I can't remember if it was 1 or 2, but Datsue Ba killed at least some of Francis Kitchener's murderers. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take matte white and paint her lantern, at least the part that's going to be glowing in the end. I might have to do a second coat of this, but it's lit up nice and bright from a full load of tortured souls. She also has a little octopus hanging out on it. Start on it a little later. Yeah, this is free floating. It's not connected to anything except for Datsue Ba's hands. So it makes me nervous. I'd rather not have it break during painting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let that dry for a bit before moving on. That's a decent start. Okay. I think I'll start this off. Let's see. Tarnished Steel 09206. Start with a knife and pieces of her lantern. I suppose I'll get her head ornament as well. That looks like it should be made of metal. So on all of this, I'm using just enough water to thin out the paint. I'm keeping my brush moist, but not too wet. Get the little sort of cup on the bottom. And the handle on the top. And there's every possibility that I'll have to do a second layer on that, the white on the lantern. And then, let's go with, let's do alien purple on the interior. Oh, great. I blinked and 50 frames disappeared. The joys of technical difficulties. And unlike all the spirits I've been doing lately, The Datsue Ba seems pretty solid to me, so I'm not doing any funny things with trying to make her look translucent. She may not be living, but she is definitely solid. Trying to avoid it nicking the flesh. Just getting this lower layer of cloth, so she's got a skirt and a sort of robe on, not a what I would call a complete kimono, but I'm guessing that outer layer ends right about here, so it's just a judgment call I'm making. And she has a headband on covering her. Well, that's a blindfold, actually. It's what it is. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to get that in the same violet, I think. And let's see here. Let's start on the octopus with red brick 09001. I think I want this octopus to be very dark in color, so we'll see if this works out in real life the way it works in my head. Just trying as best I can to just carefully trace the tentacles where I see them. And I think when I get down to the eyes, I'll just have those glowing the same color as the lantern. As if her little tentacled pal here is part of it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and let that dry before I move on. But, oh boy, the blur thing. But we're getting there. Okay, looks like we're recording. Chaotic red. This might be the last hurrah for this one. That's fine if it is. That might be it. Coming out that uncontrollably, it means it's almost out. And this is going to go on the outer robe here. Especially the sleeves. Which I arbitrarily determined ended about here on the back. It's another super hot day. Okay. And then the tassel on the lantern is going to be in this color as well. I don't know why I keep whispering this stuff. I shouldn't need to. gonna let that dry completely before I get the last two base coats, but just about there. Alright. Leather white 09062. I just realized I almost forgot one critical color, and I'm going to get a little more of that leather white to get her hair. This is really awkward with the angle of the lantern. Need to be careful around the headband, or not headband, blindfold I did earlier. Okay, that'll work. Just a little splotchy. Let's just take a little more time. Why am I referring to myself as a we? That is not a good sign. Yellow bone 09143. Because Stabby Granny here has a mouthful of fangs. I'm keeping my brush again moist but not overly wet, so I'll thin the paint just enough. And Cloudy Gray 09089. The uniform gray that was a substitute for this ran out, so now I'm using my preferred brand. Make that a little bit. Can use a little water to dilute that and soak it up. That's a quick and easy fix. A particular type of mistake. Just going around the base here. Might have a little too much mixing medium and not enough pigment, which is just means I'm going to need to mix it a little more thoroughly next time I pick it up. Okay, that's the base coats. Gonna let that all dry completely, and once it does, I can start shading. Oh, and my system's acting up again. Great. So I don't think it's another. Focus was getting good for a minute, and now we get this. Okay, back in a bit. Alright, time to shade, and here's to hoping I have fewer problems this time with the camera. Pure Black 09037. I'm going to use 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint to thin this with, just because of how dark it is, and this is going on exactly the octopus. trying to be cautious. Not to hit anything else, but I also want to be thorough in that regard as well. I think I just said the most awkward way imaginable right there. Let's do the hair next. So, linen white 09061. One-to-one ratio of water to paint on this one. Trying to get that down in there, just let it flow all over. And I nicked a little bit there, just blot that out with the paper towel. Alright. Now I'm going to need to let that dry before I move on, but that's a solid start. Okay. Okay, let's go with, let's see here. Did the hair and the black, so I'm up to the red. Okay. Had to think a minute. Red brick 09001. Lost track of where I was at. So, we're going to be fine now. Getting out with 1 part paint to 1 part water. Or reverse that, 1 part water, 1 part paint. So I did wind up using up the last of that chaotic red I had, which was a substitute for a Reaper color. So won't be seeing that one again. Alright. And Blackened Steel 09205. And let that dry completely before I move on. Alright. Next I'm going to take matte white again and touch up that lantern. Just a dot. And we'll have that mask just be the octopus. I think I did something funny with the speakers earlier. Okay. Nightshade Purple 09022. Well, that came out a bigger spurt than I thought it would. Okay. It's another one where 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint might be advisable. I'm going to very carefully get her blindfold first. Which didn't work out at all. So much we're trying to be delicate and careful. Alright. Gonna kind of get the underside first. Okay. Going over the skirt. Okay. That's going to leave the lighting and the skin, and then the teeth, and the stonework. So, we're getting there. I'll try and come back in a bit. Okay. Next, let's see. Yeah, let's use lemon yellow 09009 for the lighting. Just little dots, all I'm going to need on that. 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint. You'll need a little extra water for a lighting effect. And the trick with that is for some of your white to show through. This is quite a bit brighter than I remember it being. That's a little bit of that tentacle there. So it's on me for kind of forgetting how light this one gets. Okay. And Ghoul skin 09148. Just kind of dabbing it onto her face there, and on the hands. Make sure it gets in between the fingers. Okay, let that dry completely, and then I can get the last layers of shading, which are going to be the teeth and the stonework on the base. So back in a bit. Okay, time to wrap up the shading here. Stained Ivory 09142. That tiny speck's all I'm going to need. Just carefully dab that in the mouth there, get the teeth. And Stormy Gray 09088. Getting a larger brush for this one. Still my 1-to-1 ratio of paint to water and keeping my brush nice and wet as well. Just going over the stonework, being careful around the feet, going up to, but trying to avoid going over it. Okay. Once that dries completely, I can highlight and wrap up. You know what? I just realized something I forgot to do. The octopus needs his eyes lit up. I forgot I was going to do that. Let's fix that real quick. Dot a matte white. Just going to dab in the eyeballs. And I'm going to take that lemon. I'm just going to try to dry that quickly if I can. A little bit of lemon yellow. Make it match the lantern. And just there we go. Okay, now that's all fixed up. So now once this all dries up, I can move on to highlighting and wrap up. And I just dropped 50 frames in the blink of an eye in a very literal sense. Alright, time to highlight. So, Creamy Ivory 09144. I just need a tiny little scrap of this. And I need a ragged feathered brush and a tiny one at that. I think this one will do reasonably well. Straight paint, no water. Rubbing most of it out on a paper towel. Lightly dusting the area to be affected. It's going to be more subtle on this one here just because I can't get a whole lot on there. Bloodless Skin 09150. Going against any ridges. Oh boy, bad grip. Going against any raised areas like the toes and ankle. Going against them will help catch the paint and make those raised areas pop a little better. Next, Amethyst Purple 09024. This brush might be just about shot. I'll make certain to go again. I'm getting really tongue-tied right now. I'll make certain to go against all the wrinkles in her skirt here. Those will really help catch the paint and will really help make it stand out. A bit subtle, but not as subtle as some other colors I use. Blood Red 09003. The Vampire Red I've been using was a substitute for this. Oh, and I just realized I missed a piece of the purple. So let's just go back into that real quick. And just a quick little once over the blindfold here. So now Blood Red 09003. This is a completely new pot, so it's going to need a little extra mixing. I'm trying to think of movie characters or horror movies that involved an old lady with a knife stabbing people, and well, I suppose Pamela Voorhees from Friday the 13th, the original movie, would qualify as old lady with a knife stabbing people. But I don't think there are any others that I've seen where the antagonist was a granny with a knife. There's a movie I've heard of called Rabid Grannies, but I've only ever seen the DVD cover and a title, and that's it. Let's go ahead and do the octopus next. I'm going to use Deep Red 09002 on that, and this is the chaotic red I was using even in this video was a substitute for this one. So again, it's going to need a little extra mixing. Let's get that beautiful little octopus there. And True Silver 09207. Focus is okay. There's got to be more I can do to improve it, though. Still, this is better than I've gotten for a long time. Just a bit on the handle. Most of this is going to go on the knife blade. I don't know why I keep whispering. It's a weird habit of mine. Just shine that up. Let's not forget the little icon on her head. So that's going to leave the hair and the base. So Ghost White 09063. Ooh, that looks like a nice one for this. So my focus is on what's most readily visible. Little extra paint right here where the purple got a little out of hand earlier. Seems her scalp got a little out of hand when I shaded the steel too, so there we go. And Misty Gray 09090. Looking at her face, with a nose like that, she brings to mind a character from Popeye. Just kind of in general. A specific Popeye character, but okay. Now to wrap up with a little pure black 09037. Focus is reasonable right now. Okay. No glitches so far, that's nice. flathead brush. Where is the one I like? There it is. Just gonna line the base. Trying to go up to the lip of the base, up to that stonework, but not over it. However, sometimes my sculpting gets a little out of hand, and it goes beyond anyway. Okay. The only thing I can't do on camera is to varnish her, which involves an aerosol spray can, which I can't do inside. But that is it. The Datsue Ba from Malifaux. I'm continuing with Malifaux, but I'm switching factions. So until then, I'm Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, signing out.